Greetings, my fellow free below sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LO3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy Mango, South Florida. And today's date is Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. Expect this to come out the next day, early that morning. So, it'll be Wednesday. Yeah, so, I'll just do a little homework on the horrific event that happened in Boulder, Colorado. And someone actually sent me a video footage on what occurred. And I gotta give props to the gentleman Dean from ZFG Videography, because when he was going to the store, he heard some shots and just videotaped it, recorded it right there. And he did what he had to do with his the best of his ability on getting things a little bit broad in a broader picture. So it was very brave what he did. Of course, he got harassed, by the law enforcement, the law, which is part of the ordeal. We all know how that goes. So, but it is very they done all the raw material the best he can, and of course even the mainstream media press was on his footage. So that was very good, and a lot of interesting things, you would say, on what occurred. So the people that passed, thoughts go to their families and friends and loved ones and all that. It's very horrific regardless. There are some controversies with him. There's even video reports that the FBI knew about the suspect, Ahmad Aliwi, Alissa, which he is Syrian. So we'll talk on a few things in that ordeal. But this really disturbing, of course. Even the incident happened in Atlanta. So, stop the Asian hate. They don't try to use the white supremacy propaganda. Don't even fall for it, because there were cases that happened even in New York and San Francisco. A lot of Asians and Chinese were being attacked by assailants that were non-white anyway. So it's criminal elements as a whole. But they don't try to use that one area. And of course, they did the half-staff flag for those individuals that happened in Atlanta, but they didn't really care about what happened in New York and San Francisco, because it wasn't glamorous enough. Gun violence, firearms, gun killings. If they do something with their fists, they just toss it to the side. Nothing new at all. Just part of the whole propaganda machine. So I'm going to be mainly focusing what I've read on that, and give you guys my intake as well. And people have to learn more obligations too. But I'll just start off with here. It came from the Epoch Times. So this will be about the Boulder supermarket shooting. And this one came from the Epoch Times. It's written by Zachary Stieber. And it says here, the suspect in a mass shooting at King Supermarket in Colorado purchased a semi-automatic rifle just days before carrying out the attack, according to court filings. Ahmad Aliwi Alissa, 21, bought a Ruger AR 556 pistol on March 16th. Boulder detective Sarah Cantu said in the arrest affidavit. There's a link for that, folks, so you can see it for yourselves. The location of the purchase wasn't detailed. Ruger introduced the semi-automatic firearm in 2014, describing it as a M4 style modern super rifle. The romantic partner of Alissa's oldest brother told officers that she had seen Alissa playing with the gun she thought looked like a machine gun about 2 days ago. Alissa was discussing having a bullet stuck in the gun and was playing with the firearm, which made two others in the house, whose names are redacted, upset. They took the gun, the partner said. Police officers were dispatched to a King Soopers grocery store in Boulder at approximately 2:40 p.m. on Monday after calls of a man with a gun. Witnesses described the man as possessing a black AR-15, killing an elderly man in the grocery store parking lot before entering the store and firing shots. One witness said the man shot out the window of a vehicle and pursued a man, while another said the male was inside the grocery store before leaving, yet another said the suspect was wearing an armored vest. Multiple callers were hiding in the store as the mass shooting unfolded. The suspects eventually surrendered to law enforcement after allegedly gunning down 9 more people, including Officer Eric Talley, which he was a father of 7. All right, and I'll continue on here. It was aired over the radio that the suspect put his gear down inside the King Soopers. Cantu wrote in the affidavit a photograph of the items that the male removed on scene, including a green tactical vest, a rifle, possible AR-15, a semi-automatic handgun, a pair of jeans, and a dark-colored long-sleeve shirt. There was much blood around the items. Officers later found a green rifle case in the front passenger compartment of a black Mercedes C sedan, which was in the parking lot next to King Soopers and registered to a man believed to be the brother of the suspect. This is facing 10 counts of first-degree murder. He was treated at the hospital for injuries before being transferred to Boulder County Jail at approximately 12:49 p.m. on Tuesday. Alissa was charged for third-degree assault in Arvada, about 20 miles southeast of Boulder, in 2018. And I'll be talking about that too. David Snelling, an Arvada detective, told Epoch Times via email that the Arvada Police Department has 2 criminal reports in reference to Alissa, one for third-degree assault in 2017 and another for criminal mischief in 2018. The FBI is assisting authorities in the probe into the shooting. Officers told reporters during a press conference that the investigation is in its early stage and declined to share any of what Alissa has told them. So, it's interesting there. And another thing, too, was according to the website called mebury.com, he was, it was an assault case he had in high school. Because he was being claimed, it was claimed that he was being harassed, possible racial slurs. And as it says right down here, I'm not going to go too crazy on this article, but it says here, according to an affidavit case, Alissa then assaulted he was 18, assaulted a classmate at Arvada West High School in 2017. Alissa punched a boy in the head without warning. When he fell to the ground, Alissa kept punching him. According to the affidavit, the classmate received bruises and cuts to his head. Called him racial names a week ago, so that was the claim. He was sentenced to 2 months of probation and 40 hours of community service after being convicted of misdemeanor assault in 2018. So that's one of those areas, so it looks like he did have a past. And, of course, here in 2019... as I see here, Snelling, on the other hand, had declined. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going here. On the alerts. It said, Snelling, on the other hand, declined. Yeah, whether local police issued any related alerts or concerns, instead referring to questioning the FBI. So there's some accusations on that. So in 2019, a user on a Facebook page seemed to belong to Alissa that his former high school was hacking his phone in response to a question and why the school would do such a thing. He blamed racism. He responded, I believe part of racism for sure. I think some spread false rumors about me, which might have triggered it. Hell, I'll just say this challenged him to a duel, right? So, of course, other posts expressed anti-LGBTQ feelings and cautioned about the dangers of too much government power, which he saw as a threat. I can't disagree with him on that one. But it's a developing story, by the way. So probably more information came out when I'm during the show. So it looks like he has an interesting past. Even according to the New York Post, his family members claim he was has some mental issues or been very distorted. So so I'm just bringing those for you out there. I'm not going to post that on there on the show, but it's just one of those things you got to really look at and got to find out what. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's a false flag because based on video footage I've seen from Dean from ZFG videography, he knows he saw some motionless people. That means they were dead. And, of course, you got people complaining, how come he didn't save them, this and that. Like, all these social media geniuses is coming out of the woodworks. So, even inside the store as well. So, to hear shots, that's where he went out. And that's when he heard the sirens coming around and all that. He's stuck to his guns. So, one of those things I was got to see what was going inside his head. Is he a possible Manchurian candidate, mind control victim? It's possible, folks. And there's more accusations. The FBI had knowledge of this man. We don't know. We have to wait and see. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another show like that, but it'll be to be announced. But you know what? Just do your homework and share that stuff with me too if you can. I'd be greatly appreciated. That's what the whole thing's about, man. Just working sharing information and spreading that out to everyone around the world. Because there's a lot more. I believe there's a lot more complex than what it is. And what really gets me is that town itself, according to the New American. I'll read this article here. It says, Boulder Shooting, where were the defenders? This is what Bob Alderman has to say. By the time the first responders arrived at the scene, shooting suspect Ahmad Aliwi Alissa had plenty of time to murder 10 people. Police received their first call just after 2:30 p.m. On Monday afternoon, as a first responder, Boulder police officer Eric Talley arrived at 2:40 p.m. Alissa, a resident of Arvada, about 25 miles away, entered the King Soopers grocery store in the Table Mesa neighborhood of Boulder, Colorado, and began, according to witnesses, picking off customers at random with his AR-15 semi-automatic rifle. When Talley arrived, a firefight ensued, and the suspect was able to hold off law enforcement until 3:21 p.m. When wounded, he was finally taken into custody. Mainstream media focused on two things. One, his motive, and two, the opportunity to press more gun laws. Of course, you got those political cheerleaders out there. Yeah, we got to do it now, this day and age. No, it's not. It's irrelevant. Well, we'll continue on here. We always have these people manifest. And I've been watching guys like Technocrat Ted, who represents my district in Broward County and parts of Palm Beach. We need tougher gun laws, with that whiny little voice of his. Good grief, nasally. Sounds like like Beaker taking a dump. So I'm gonna be So it says here, as of 9:04 a.m. Tuesday morning, Boulder's Daily Camera couldn't report a motive, only that the shooter had been charged with 10 counts of murder. But rabid anti-gunner Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, saw the moment of opportunity, and he took it, tweeting, "This is the moment to make our stand now. Today our movement is stronger than the gun lobby. They are weak. We are potent. Finally, we have a president in the Congress that supports gun reform. No more new towns, no more Parklands, no more Boulders. We make our stand." Hey, how about ending firearm-free zones on a federal level? Congressman Murphy, another poser, power fiend poser who wants to control the people, man, control the masses. Also seizing the opportunity was nothing more than House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I'm just wondering if she was highly intoxicated when she spoke. For the second time in a week, our nation is being confronted by the epidemic of gun violence. Too many families in too many places are being forced to endure this unfathomable pain and anguish. Action is needed now to prevent this scourge from continuing to ravage our communities. Well, how about stop spending money on imperialism? Yeah, she's a House Speaker, right? Good grief. Okay, it says here, the irony is that up until just days before the shooting, Boulder had banned possession of AR-15 style semi-automatic rifles. Federal Judge Andrew Hartman ruled last week that only Colorado state law can prohibit the possession, sale, and transfer assault weapons and large capacity magazines. But that law, just declared unconstitutional by Hartman, didn't deter the shooter. Of course. See, make more laws would be saved. What a wet dream. Exactly. This is what makes me disturbed the most. I have to use sarcasm. Now I'll be screaming on top of my lungs at times. But to me, I'll be inappropriate and irrelevant. So I'm going to continue on here. And it says, for the record, Colorado shall issue state allowing qualifying applicants to carry a concealed firearm in all areas of the state with some minor exceptions. So where were they on Monday afternoon, King Superstore in the Table Mesa neighborhood? Here is the map, and I hit the wrong button. Here's the map. The average King Super's grocery store is 124,000 square feet. Under the COVID, the chain permits just one customer for every 120 square feet. That means, under COVID, the maximum capacity is about 1,000 customers. But let's be conservative and consider that the grocery store was only half full, or had 500 customers in the store on Monday afternoon. According to the Crime Prevention Research Center, nearly 20 million people have a concealed carry permit in the United States. That, according to Luke McCoy, writing for USACarry.com, boils down to the probability that one person has a concealed handgun permit is 5.4%, he explained. In a room with 10 people, the probability that at least one person will have permitted a concealed handgun is 43%. In a room with 20 people, that probability goes up to 67%. With 40, probability rises to 89%. In a store with 500 customers, there were likely a minimum of 25 individuals carrying concealed while doing their grocery shopping. Where were they? Granted, Boulder is easily the most liberal city in Colorado, with approximately 350,000 residents that there are. If the math holds, more than 17,000 Boulder residents with a CCW permit. Let's assume that anti-gun culture that there reduces that number to, say, 10,000. Surely at least one of them was shopping at that King Superstore on Monday afternoon. Where was he? If he or she has stepped to the plate and confronted the shooter, it's more likely that the death toll, including the first law enforcer who confronted the shooter at 2:40 p.m. and who was killed in the firefight, would have been vastly reduced. And thus the incident would not have provided another opportunity for anti-gunners to wax eloquent over the need for more gun laws that wouldn't have affected the shooter anyway. Forget about his motive. Ask the questions instead. And he's absolutely correct. And this is why, my friends, you always gotta have to look at all these areas in the bigger picture. When you study your state constitution and even Colorado's Governmental Immunity Act, which is the Statute 24-10-104, which is the title of it. And based on that, technically they're not obligated to protect you. Now we'll explain that in one of the statutes. But before we do that, the people in that area, especially in that area, need to learn some lessons here. Many of them haven't learned what happened at Columbine High. Okay? They haven't learned about this or the Aurora shootings. What they have in common, many of them are firearm-free zones. And technically, the police aren't obligated to protect you. They protect and serve the public at the best of their ability. The beautiful people in that vicinity or jurisdiction are mainly the first line of defense. I'm not saying go be Rambo or some superhero by any means. Because how about they try to do that to members of your family in your neighborhood? You're gonna sit there. If you're armed, you have an opportunity to prevent it from happening. You got a good chance. There's no guarantees. When I seen that video, yeah, it was graphic. Okay? Of course, I know the news stations, the CNN, CBS, all that, they blurred it out, which is understandable. But one thing you have to learn, you can't bring your Orwellian garbage into other places. I want to explain what Article 2 of the Colorado's Constitution titled Bill of Rights. And we can start off here with your preamble. In order to assert our rights, acknowledge our duties, and proclaim the principles upon which our government is founded, we declare. All right? We'll hit Section 3. Inalienable rights. All persons have certain natural, essential, and inalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the rights of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining their safety and happiness. Okay? But you folks in Boulder need to pay attention. And any other place that believes government will take care of me, police are obligated to protect me. Okay? Now, I'm not going after the police as a whole. Okay? To me, that would be very selfish. I'm looking at the human element. Because they're human beings too, and they do their best to protect and serve the public at the best of their ability. Alright? So then we'll go down here. We'll go down to Section 11. May have these certain gun laws. No ex post facto law, nor law impairing the obligation of contract or retrospective in its operation or making any irrevocable grant of special privileges, franchise, or immunities shall be passed by the General Assembly, and including the towns. Because you got to go by that oath, too. Called ex post facto laws. Okay, invalid contracts. The next one we're going to hit here is Section 13, right to keep and bear arms. The right of the person to keep and bear arms in defense of his home, person, and property, or in aid of the civil power, when thereto legally summoned, shall be called in question. But nothing herein contained shall be construed to justify the practice of carrying concealed weapons. Alright? So there may be some contradictions there. Respectfully. But how that supersede your inalienable rights? Under Section 3, right? And we'll hit one more here. 28. The rights reserved not disparage. The enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny, impair, or disparage others retained by the people. So it's very similar to the 9th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. All right? Here are the facts, folks. The people in that state, including Boulder, are obligated, have a duty to protect others. Your loved ones, family, friends, neighbors, innocent bystanders. We have those duties, folks. Because in reality, technically the police aren't obligated to protect you. And if you read Colorado Statute 24-10-114, they call it the Colorado Revised Statute. Government state administration, governmental immunity. Limitation on judgments. Recommendation to the General Assembly, authorization of additional payments. So, like it says here, 1, the maximum amount may be recovered under this article in a single occurrence, whether from one or more public entities and public employees, shall be Okay, so it's like 1A subsection 1. For injury to one person in a single occurrence, it's a 3 of $350,000. Okay, so if they shoot, that's a different story. You'd be compensated for that much. But if you go a little bit further down here, for A, the public entity should not be liable either directly or by indemnification or punitive or explanatory damages or no for damages for outrageous conduct except otherwise determined by a public entity pursuant. It tells you there, 2410-118, subsection 5. And if you just read this as a whole, there's no guarantees. Okay? So like I said, based on this, they're not obligated to protect an individual. That's how y'all look at it. So I'm just giving you a little rundown on this, because you have to know the facts. Okay, if you're down 911 and they don't come and you get hurt, you can't sue. If you pass, your heirs can't do that to them as well. Those are the facts. This is why I have to address it in this matter, because the other way, doing tougher firearm laws, having the federal government getting involved, they're just nothing more macro solutions to mega problems. And in addition, they're invalid referendums. Article 1 said the U.S. Constitution guarantees that. And of course, your state constitution, same thing. What I addressed aforementioned. So, I will leave all this stuff on my speaker page, and you can make your own judgments. And that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or anything that's interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence with the Quorum. Furthermore, like I said before, I'm going to leave all the footnotes of this episode on my speaker page. And if you want to contact me by email, you can hit me at LokiLuck03@protonmail.com. If you want to do a donation, you can hit me at paypal.me or cash.app/LokiLuck3. And if you want to support the Epoch Times and a New American, that would be awesome. And of course, Maberry.com. You want to support them, that'd be awesome as well. Hey, truth of the matter is, folks, we want to share information the grassroots way, not by corporate funding or corporate control. All right? Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.